Well, Paul, Rangers could potentially be the right opportunity at some point for one of these managers. Are we officially one loss away from Philippe Clement being sacked, especially if it's Hearts at home on the weekend? Or do you think they'll give him a chance to at least manage Rangers against Celtic in the Scottish League Cup final on December 15th? He's gotten them that far.
I think we've been talking about Philippe Clement's future for a long time now. He's dug out some results. Beat St Mirren, obviously the loss to Aberdeen would be disappointing. The fact that there's so many points off Celtic where they're not where they want to be, but I think there's so much more unrest at Rangers off the field, the club ownership, the boardroom, with the manager. You wonder who's making the decisions on the manager's future. They're certainly not where they want to be. They've got obviously, like you say, they've got the opportunity of the League Cup. As we talk, they've got the Europa League on Thursday night. Before they've got a big game against Hearts at the weekend. I think every game's a big game for Philippe Clement at the moment for his future. But I think that comes with the territory of being Glasgow Rangers manager. A huge football club like that, when you look at the SPL and you look at the top of the SPL with Rangers, now Aberdeen and Celtic, but you look at the global interest that there is on Rangers as well. It's a pressured job, and if he's not getting the results, there's always going to be questions asked over him. And he's got to pull things around consistently, because you think that they've just turned the corner and then results turn again. Players' performances have been indifferent. Basically they just haven't been good enough this season, and inevitably the can stops with the manager.
And Pete, could we somehow see Rangers bring in Darius Olaru this January if they have the funds? The 26-year-old Romanian has been great for Steaua Bucharest, especially in European play, tallying 7 goals and 4 assists in 10 matches this season. Maybe someone who could help them make a Europa League run should they qualify for the knockout stages.
Yeah, he looks a good player. Olara, as you mentioned, got a good goal-scoring record from midfield, and he's probably something that Rangers are missing this season, maybe not enough goals from that midfield area. I think a deal's very difficult to do in January. He's on a long-term contract at Steaua Bucharest until 2028, so the Romanian club would want a decent fee for him if they were to sell him, and I don't think Rangers are in any place right now to be paying big money for any signings. We saw their financial results last week, and that didn't make for great reading. Over 17.5 million losses for Rangers to go back on other previous losses as well. So yeah, I don't think there's ready-made funds there for Philippe Clement to try and buy his way out of trouble and improve the squad. I think Rangers, we saw in the summer, were sort of wheeling and dealing in the summer in the transfer market, and obviously Clement was quite public about that as well, saying that he didn't have a lot of money to spend, and they were trying to lower the average age of the squad as well. So yeah, he might be on Rangers' list as a potential target as well, but I just think with everything that's going on there financially and on the pitch as well, it's a deal that's probably very highly unlikely.
And Paul, what kind of effect has it had on Rangers to see their captain, James Tavernier, start to lose form a little bit as he, gets a little bit older in age? Is that kind of having an effect on the rest of the players and seeing their form dip as well?
So I think I don't think it's anything to do with his age. I think he's just having a dip in form. The manager took him off in the last game after 65 minutes. So that shows where they're at. I think he's come under a little bit of criticism from the Rangers support as well. But believe me, there's nothing more frustrating for a player than lack of form, and it doesn't come through a lack of trying. And somebody like James Tavernier, the minimum requirement is maximum effort, and that's the type of player that he is. He'll be finding that as difficult as anybody, but it's something that he will rediscover. And when such an influential player, both defensively and offensively, isn't firing as you would expect him to, it's bound to have an effect on the rest of the team.